Welcome back to the Bluechip Breakdown, Vols fans. I'm your host, Bull. It's July, which means that it is commitment season. In June, we did a great job with the OV season. Several players that we didn't even expect to be committing did commit blue chip guys. I think that we did a phenomenal job of addressing all the needs in this class. It was really interior offensive line and then interior defensive line. Several guys that are going to help us out in that category for sure. But moving forward, okay, we still have plenty of players left on our big board, and we will take a look at how it is set up as of July the 3rd that I feel like we're going to be closing out on. And, we'll be able to have a very solid class. I feel like, can we still get into the top five is the question for some people. For me, doesn't really matter that much, right? Just because these players will fit into our scheme so well. And it's just all about that longevity and just building up that depth. A lot of what this class is doing just that. And as always, y'all, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. What we have right here is our big board as of July the 3rd. And we can see over to the left of the players that we are expecting to commit to our volunteers. The ones on the right are just possible commitments. We could have a couple of surprises from that side, but for the most part, we're going to be focusing on the players to the left because we're hitting that home stretch, okay? And pretty much everyone that's going to be coming on to Tennessee, we would know about it, or the insiders would know about it at this point. That's just my opinion. Again, could have some surprises. The class is currently ranked number 11 nationally and number 6 in the SEC. I think that we're probably going to add maybe 5 to 6 more guys. If you look over here to the left, might be 1 or 2 guys that might not be coming to Tennessee, but I think that we're in a great spot for all of them. So the biggest thing in today's video is going to be about who are the most important players that are left on our board. And I have this set up from obviously the most important to the least important. And number 1, I have Shady Hayward, who is a safety, 6'1", 200 pounds, whatever, from South Georgia. He's a guy that can play safety and he can also play linebacker. So very versatile, but to me, it's so important is because what's going on at safety, we keep on talking about that, is Will Brooks, a former walk-on. Is he going to be starting with all the talent that we have in that room? I think that's a little bit unacceptable. So, we do already have one safety committed in this class, but Shady to me is a higher caliber sort of a player. So having a blue chip guy coming in at this position potentially would be huge because now we'll be able to see, okay, can he come in? Can he play? Especially if we need him to. And then that's just that depth. Several veterans, upperclassmen will be leaving us. So it's going to be huge to have a guy that can come in and that we know can ball early on. Right behind him, I'm going to have Jaden Politi, who is also very versatile. He could play on all 3 levels. He could play Leo for us. Definitely could be a, just traditional linebacker, but he could also play, I believe, nickel or safety. So extremely, extremely versatile. I think that we're in a good spot for both of these 2 players. I would say that I feel a little bit better maybe about Shady at this point, and he is set to announce on July the 27th, which is his birthday. As far as Jaden goes, he's been committed to UGA for a very long time. Don't know if that's going to change because he's kind of been flirting around with some other teams, other programs. But whenever I talk to him, whenever I talk to his father, I feel like Tennessee is in a great position. I think that the insiders feel that way as well. It's going to come down for me, at least in my opinion, it's going to come down to signing day with him. Who does he ultimately sign with? Because he might flip and maybe he doesn't even go to that school. Maybe he signs somewhere else. So that's one to watch all the way to the end. I do feel really, really good about where we're at with him. Now, number 3, I've got Christian Gass, also a linebacker. We have no linebackers committed in this class. And getting in him and or Jaden Politi would be huge because they're both extremely versatile. They got that length. They got that speed. They can play out, in the open field. They can cover whatever you need for them to do. But Christian Gass, he's versatile, maybe not as versatile as a Jaden Politi, but I could see him playing Leo as well for us. He's got good size, good length, good burst off the football, all that type of stuff. Sounds like he is leaning to our Tennessee Volunteers. Now, I believe that he did set an announcement date, but I don't remember exactly when it was. It's coming up, though, y'all. It's coming up like within the next couple of weeks. It might be in early August, but he's one that, I would say for sure, we need to keep a very close eye on. That would be huge if we could add him in this class. Now, number 4, I have David Sanders. Some of y'all might have had him higher up on y'all's list. But if you look at the way that our needs were kind of set up coming into this class, we, again, just needed interior offensive linemen. And at the tackle position, we're actually very deep. I love how that room is set up for the future. But, they're not really David Sanders, right? David Sanders is kind of like a generational type of a talent. At least that's what he looks like. I love where we're at with him. Would be so big for this class to add someone like that. Is maybe like the headliner, right? Because I think he's top 3 in the country. Would that ultimately help us to go out and get more players at the end of this cycle and maybe even heading into 2026 as well? I think that it would. So that would be huge for sure. Now, at number 5, I have Travis Smith, 6'3", 200-pound, 4-star wide receiver from Westlake High School. I love his game. Obviously, we need that taller outside body type of a wide receiver. and he would be the guy. He's number one on our list. I think he's been number one for a long time. I love where Tennessee sits at with him. One of the more, confident players that, I feel like will be signing with Tennessee whenever it's all said and done. Going to be huge, actually, just to be able to kind of, almost flip him from UGA, because a lot of folks said, hey, look, he's going on to UGA. They've been saying that for a very long time. But for us to be able to make that flip is big, because we do see some big time wide receivers going on to UGA. And I've said this for the longest time. Why would you go there if you play wide receiver? Their scheme, their everything, it does not fit wide receivers. They just don't do a good job with it. So why would you go there, especially if you're a higher caliber guy? But Travis Smith is going to be one, kind of like Mike Matthews in last year's class, that's going to continue to show people, look, you're going to be a lot more successful if you come to Tennessee as opposed to going to UGA. So that's going to be big for us moving forward. And then right here behind him at number 6, I have DJ Miller. Very similar body style. I would say that if we don't get Travis Smith, then we'd probably want to get DJ Miller. Would we take both? If I'm Coach Heupel, if we had the room to do it, I would definitely take both, because wide receivers a spot, y'all, that we're losing a lot of talent. Like, we're losing several players. We're going to end up losing 5 to 6 guys inside of that class. And they're all kind of like that 6'3" and up sort of a body. So we really need this. And we've also talked before that some of the guys that we have that are underclassmen that kind of fit this same body style might be moving on. They might be transferring. So why not just go on ahead and get ahead of everything and bring in 2 guys if you could? I don't know about DJ Miller. Like, I don't know when he's set to announce, but maybe, comes up here within the next couple of weeks. Maybe he does choose Tennessee, and Travis Smith will be announcing on July the 13th. That's his birthday. So on to number 7, we have Shaka Mills-Knight playing running back. Okay, he's that bigger body guy that we wanted to add to Justin Baker in this class. I don't see him coming here really at all. It's possible, but I would say that out of all these players, might feel the, least confident that he's going to be coming home to Tennessee. It looks like Ole Miss or Auburn, whoever, once they're not choosing us, I just say, I don't even care where you go, because you ain't coming home to us. But it's not a huge deal, y'all, just because running backs are a dime a dozen. You can find a running back that has good size and everything else to kind of throw into this class, I would say, in the transfer portal, if you really want to do that. And we didn't do it last season just because we had other pressing needs to address. But now we'll have a lot more money to kind of spend in that running back room if the staff sees fit. Interior offensive line is fine. Really, the whole offensive line is going to be fine. Maybe you add one body or 2 at defensive tackle, but maybe not, right? Who knows how everything's going to play out? But I'll just say this: we have a lot more money to spend there, so that's not a huge deal. Now, the next player at number 8 is going to be Onis Konabani. He's a 4-star cornerback. He has great size. I love his game. Sounds like he is trending to our Volunteers. A couple of insiders have already predicted him to Tennessee. Obviously, it would be huge if we could add him to this class. We have, I think already like 3 cornerbacks committed in this class. So going out and getting several cornerbacks, I don't think that they're all coming here to play corner. Some of them are going to be here to play safety. In my opinion, Onis is a guy that you want playing cornerback. And I'll be honest with y'all, it's a little bit concerning to me. Like, and it's cool to get guys that are versatile, but go out and get a real safety. Go out and get a real star. You know what I mean? It's hard to find a real star coming from high school, but y'all get what I'm saying. Stop just getting cornerbacks and saying, hey, they're really good athletes. We'll try them out anywhere. It just doesn't work well, in my opinion. Now, I don't know when he's set to announce, but it should be coming up here pretty soon, probably by like the end of July. The next player is going to be Juan Gaston. Love his game a lot. I feel like if he comes and plays for us, he'll be playing at right tackle. Everyone's been saying that he's going to UGA for a very long time, but Oregon, I think, is the team that he really wants to go to, and I feel like Tennessee has a great shot. A lot of the insiders and experts don't know what to think with this one just because he's kept things very close to the vest. I wouldn't be super shocked if he does choose Tennessee, but at the same time, I would be a little bit more shocked that he didn't choose Oregon. I don't know where he's going to end up at, but he is set to announce on August the 2nd. So that's coming up here in less than a month. And again, y'all, I think that we could be looking out for some fireworks with this one. I don't think it's going to be what a lot of the experts are projecting. Now, after that, we have Josh Petty, okay? And I've got him so low on this list because I really don't think he's going to be coming to Tennessee. And then also, he's projected as an offensive tackle. I think he's going to be more of a guard just because of his size. Now, he's only 256 pounds. We've talked about this a lot. I feel like getting in a guy as a surprise in Doug Utu was actually exactly what we needed instead of getting Josh Petty, just because Utu is that bigger body guy. And, again, I've got Josh Petty right here because he grew up as a Tennessee fan. Looks to me like he's going to be going on to Florida State because I heard him last week talking about how his sister's going there and how they're so close. They, really haven't ever lived apart. So I think that that's where he ends up at ultimately. But as a Tennessee fan, you never know what could happen. I mean, maybe he flips her and the whole nine. That would be huge to add him just because he does have a good ceiling, a good upside. It's just more depth to this class. Iron sharpens iron, and it just makes that whole room a lot better. Now after him, we've got Dwayne Morris or Dwayne Morris. I don't know how to necessarily pronounce his name, but he's a player that could come in to play running back for us. He would be a lot more of a scat back sort of a guy. He's smaller than Justin Baker is for sure. I also feel like he could play in the slot. He's a great athlete. Currently committed to USC. Sounds like he's not going to end up there. He's supposed to be coming up to visit us at the end of this month. I don't know if that's going to be in OV or what, but I would say that around that time, we'll see if he's going to be flipping. And I feel like we're in a really, really good spot right here. Now for the last player, we have Jacoby Ward, who is an interior offensive lineman. He's actually set to announce tomorrow, July the 4th. I mean, I would say that if we didn't already have so much depth and so many good players coming in this year's class for interior offensive linemen, then maybe he would be coming here. I think that he's probably going to end up going to Auburn at the end of the day. But who's to say? I mean, maybe he does say, I feel like I'm just as good as these other players and that I can come in and I can play too. If that happens, obviously that would be really big for us. Just another body, some more depth. But it's not one that we necessarily need by any means. I think that we're pretty much set on the offensive line outside of like a David Sanders. If you want to add a Juan Gaston for sure. You would add him, Josh Petty. Really any of these guys you would add them, but I mean, it's just more of a luxury. The same way that we felt about Deshaun Brain. We didn't really need him. It was just a luxury to add on to what we already had. But that's pretty much how it looks, y'all. I think that we are in a good spot. Again, top five might kind of be out of the question at this point unless everything just goes perfectly and we get a few big time shocks and surprises, things like that. Maybe we could sneak into the top five. But I would say for sure top 10 is what we should be expecting for this class. But y'all let me know y'all's thoughts down in the comment section. As always, thank y'all for sticking all the way to the end. Please make sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, share with your friends, family, and other volunteer fans. We'll see y'all in the next one. Thanks. Peace.